Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. My name is Mirda and I'm from Germany. Today I'm gonna react to the biggest mistakes tourists make in the USA. I've never been to America before, but I have family living there. For a long time, I dreamed of going to Los Angeles because of the university studio, mostly because of GTA 5. Then New York because skyscrapers, Central Park, Times Square. I would like to go to Arizona. My wife wants to go to Miami. But to be honest, I'm also a bit scared of flying, and of course, such a trip costs a lot of money. Before we start to react together, please like this video now and leave a comment, share with your friends. I, as a German, want to know before I travel to the USA. Like a tourist, I don't want uh, to make mistakes. That's why I'm gonna watch this video with you guys, and yeah.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here at Mount Rushmore. And today we're going to talk about some of the little mistakes that tourists make when they come to the U.S. And the first mistake is getting upset when the Americans count continents a little bit differently. Here in the U.S., we have 7 continents. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Antarctica, and Australia.
Yes.
The thing is, other places around the world, sometimes they combine North America and South America into the Americas, and they only have 6. So don't get upset if we
No,
count
I also learned that we have 7 continents.
differently here in the U.S., all right? Now, let's see some more of this beautiful country to talk about some of the other mistakes you might see. So now we're here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and my next mistake that I see tourists make when they come to the U.S. is thinking that no one will understand them when they talk smack in a foreign language. Look, you can talk smack in German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, whatever, and you may think no one's going to understand you, but you'll be surprised how many people actually will understand you, okay? I mean, I've been on trips. I remember we were in New Orleans. My buddy and I were sitting there, and these 2 guys were talking about these girls. They were speaking German, and they were talking about these 2 cute girls up there. And the 2 girls turn around, and they're like, we had German in college. And they're like, oh my goodness. It was pretty funny. So don't think you can go around and talking smack in Italian or Portuguese.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate this. I don't like when people talk about this stuff, but like loud. Everybody can understand you, and you might get upset or something. Yeah, but never talk too loud about this kind of stuff.
Whatever, and you won't have a local be like, dude, we understand what you're saying. Now, I'm not saying everybody will understand, but don't think it's going to be a secret language, just in case, all right? Now, another mistake I see tourists make when they come is they get really upset when people ask for their ID when they buy alcohol or cigarettes. Look, you don't, I know, and lots of places around the world.
Yeah, it's strict in America. They like always ask for your ID, and you have to be 21, I think, to drink alcohol, and you cannot drink publicly. In Germany, you can, and you can drink, I think, with 14, but with your parents, and it's just a beer. Then you can drink wine with 16 or 17, and like buying, you can just buy when you turn 18. It's not a problem, and you can also drink on public. I also don't drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes. I don't even like drink coffee or something. Yeah.
Ever have to show an ID if you look like you're older than 15? They're like, sure, you can buy that. In the U.S., that's not the way. The reason why they're so strict with it, if they get caught selling without asking for ID, or they sell to someone that's underage, they can get a really big fine, and people don't want to pay that fine. So it's just, hey, look, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to get a ticket. Can I just see your ID?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They could ask the ID for the...
Wait. Even at romantic restaurants and at sunset, they may ask for ID. Okay, but why? If you don't order like alcohol, why they ask for your ID?
with them, okay? So have your passport with you, have an ID with you that shows your age, if you're gonna be buying alcohol or cigarettes. Even if you look like an old fart like
Wow.
me, sometimes I have to show my ID still, okay? So take it as a positive. You just look really young,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And when you're talking to those locals,
It's
another
true.
mistake I see tourists make is they don't ask the locals for advice. Look, when you're in the US, we're very gregarious people. We like to talk, we like to share, we like to tell you, oh, this is the greatest place to get this. We've got steaks down the road here, but if you're gonna get Rocky Mountain oysters, they've got them right there at the Albany. And so you wanna take in the local flavor, right? So you gotta ask the locals. And the thing is, a lot of us now, we use the TripAdvisors, we use the Yelps, and we base everything we do on that, which a lot of times is good.
I also do like on my own, or like before I travel somewhere, I just love to research everything and to know about. And if I like if I need like help and can can do it on my own, like with my phone, it's okay. But if I don't know how, then yeah, I just ask somebody. Like everywhere where I went, always the people always help me.
Wouldn't you want to know from an actual local versus a lot of tourists just writing
Oh, it's
reviews?
so beautiful.
So make sure you take the time to talk to the locals. Don't make the mistake of ignoring them. Take in their
I just like American streets, like how big they are, and so much space, and like the houses, like how they look,
and learn, because you might find out that, oh yeah, you can actually go to this museum, it's free on Tuesdays, and you can go get really
Big
good food here.
mayonnaise.
They've got actually free beer samples over there. I'm like, free beer? Hold on. Because honestly, if you go to Ybor City in Tampa, you want to make sure that you get the right Cuban
Florida.
sandwich when you go, because you got to order it the right way when you're down there. And the locals will help you out with that. Now, another mistake I see, and I've talked about this in other videos, but I think it's important to talk about again, is the mistake of not tipping. Look, I would say not tipping and then giving some excuse. In the US, servers, bartenders, waiters, waitresses, they make their living off of tips. You are not going to change the system by saying, I don't agree with tipping. This is wrong. I will never tip. They should get paid more. This is me saying that they should get paid more. I'm not going to support those business owners that are doing that. Look, you're not doing that. All you're doing is being
I don't agree like 100%, because I tip always when I get like good service. If I can say, like if I order something and they like always with a smile, or when they like ask me 10 minutes later, like if I need something, or like with a smile, like this polite thing, then I will let a tip, a big tip. If some people like uh, don't like show interest, and like doesn't give you the right feeling that you hear or something that you order, I will not give a tip. That's how I do it in Germany. I always get a tip, but if somebody is rude, or is like negative, then yeah, I don't give a tip.
cheap, okay? You like the food, how it's cheap in the US? Well, part of that is because they don't have to put on the service charge and pay the waiters and stuff as much, and so they have lower food prices, so therefore it's up to you to tip. So 15 to 20% when you go to a sit-down restaurant, that's a typical tip in the US, okay? So don't make the mistake of not tipping, because I guarantee if you go back to that same restaurant, they'll remember you. So I'll
Oh.
leave Cheyenne here, and let's go see more beautiful parts of the US. So continuing on with our mistakes that tourists make in the US, we're here in Atlanta, Georgia. And my next mistake I have for tourists is they don't buy the insurance package when they buy their plane tickets. Look, your insurance back home may only cover your insurance back home. Make sure you have insurance for your trip, not just in case
Yes,
the,
I always have extra insurance whenever I travel somewhere, and but I don't have for Canada, USA, and other parts of countries outside Europe, of course. One day, if I would travel to USA, I would 100% do put extra insurance for America. And yeah, because healthcare is in America like a big thing, and I don't want to pay like 1,000 or $2,000 bill.
Trip gets canceled, but also for health insurance
Yes.
purposes, because health insurance and health issues in the US are crazy expensive. You need to go to the ER, you could be out a few grand, okay?
Oof.
A lot of times when you buy international tickets, they'll give you the option to get extra insurance when you do that. Make sure you pick it
Cool.
up, or talk to your insurance provider back home to see if your insurance will be working there, because man, I mean,
Yes.
having a few $1,000 bill on your credit card can be a bit tough, okay? So just have a heads up for that. Another mistake I see tourists make is they don't sign up for the loyalty programs. Look, here in the US, we love our loyalty programs. Yes, I'd love to collect my miles so I can get a free flight. Yes, I would love to collect my hotel stay so I can get a free night in a hotel. Yes, I'd love a free upgrade because I'm a member of this program.
Ah, okay.
Or my personal
Understand.
favorite, hey, if I'm a member of your hotel thing, I get free internet? Yes, yes you do. So make sure if you're gonna be coming to the US and you're gonna travel around,
Okay.
sign up for those loyalty programs. Maybe you're gonna be Hilton Honors or Marriott or IHG, whatever. Get that, because if you're here for 2 weeks, it adds up
Good to
very
know.
quickly. And so you might get a night or two for free in a hotel, or an upgrade to a nicer room, or free waters, or free Wi-Fi. It does make a difference. And the thing is, those loyalty programs, it's not just for Delta Airlines and Marriott hotels. No, they have that for stores and restaurants and things like that. So make sure you do sign up for
Okay.
those to get the benefits, okay? Because those little benefits add up over time to make a big thing. Is another mistake we see is people don't look for the deals or just ask about the deals. Look, there's going to be coupons for all kinds of stuff you go to here in the US. For example, we went to the Georgia Aquarium, one of the best
Aw.
aquariums in the world here in Atlanta, okay? And we went there and they're like, wait, it's almost 4 o'clock. Why don't you go buy your ticket online and you can save $10? I'm like, wait a minute, I'm here in line, wanting to pay you right now. They're like, no, go on your phone and buy it there and you can save money. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's why it's important to look, but also it's very important to ask, do you have any specials? Do you have any
Yes.
deals? Are there any
I
discounts?
always ask about like extra discount or something.
Because there really are a lot here in the US. It can be a Groupon kind of thing. You can do that. I know, say you got a family, oh, we just need one large pizza. That's $19.99. Well, what you should do is ask, hey, do you have any specials today? And they might have, well, we have 2 medium pizzas for $10. Wait, that's a lot better deal. Yeah, little things like that, they're all over the US. If you're here in the summer, Coke might have a discount to a Six Flags or an amusement park. So you do those things to kind of save a little money. And as tourists, when they come to the US, they might not know about these things. So make sure you're looking, and also make sure you ask. Your hotel might have discounts yourself. Hell, this restaurant behind me here, we got a 10% discount because our hotel knows the people. They gave us a card because we asked. So make sure you do that. And the last mistake I want to talk about here in Atlanta, because you notice I'm here in Atlanta and you think Atlanta, Georgia, it's hot, it's humid, it's horrible. Well, yes, in July and August, but not in January and not in February or December or March. Or look, the mistake is people choose the wrong time
Yes.
to visit different places in the US. You really need to look and make sure, is that a good time to visit? So for example, Atlanta, in the summer, when it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius and a bajillion% humidity, it's not fun here. I'm not gonna lie to you. This town is awesome, but not when it's freaking 100 degrees and 100% humidity, okay? So you think about it, if you're in the southeast, hurricane season from July to November, Minnesota is a gorgeous state to visit, but do you want to go there in February when it's freezing cold and lots of snow? I mean, these are things you got to think about. And the thing is we get tempted to go to places because we get a cheap airline ticket, but you might not get as much bang for your buck if you go there in the wrong time of the year. That's why it's important to look at the seasons. One of the mistakes I see a lot of people make is they go to Disney World between Christmas and New Year's. That is the busiest time of the year. That is like the
Yeah,
wor-
also I would go to Disney World in America because of my little princess. And yeah, I saw one. She saw one video in New York where they have like a parade for kids, and just walking through New York city center, and yeah, she loves it. And yeah, it's very interesting for us and one day I hope we will get somehow and watch these things live.
To go because they don't know. So make sure you're checking to make sure that you have the right times to visit places because they make a big difference. Anyway, let's leave Atlanta and go to someplace a little more rural out there to enjoy some more of the US and some of the mistakes we all make when we come visit. So now we're here in Jackson, Wyoming, and my next mistake that I see tourists make when they come visit the US is they don't pay attention to their surroundings. I know if you watch the news, it seems like that there's something bad happening everywhere in the US all the time, and that's just not the case. Okay, the US in general is a very safe place to visit, and you'll have a great time, and you really won't have to worry too much. But that doesn't mean you don't need to pay attention when you're walking around cities or you're exploring national parks. You do need to be aware of your surroundings because that magic fanny pack doesn't protect you here either, okay? So make sure you're paying attention. When you're going to your hotel, ask them, hey, are there any parts of town I shouldn't be going to or I should avoid? If you're going to be out exploring, going to the national parks and stuff like that, you know what? They say don't go off the path for a reason. It could
Yeah, in my free time, I watch police activity and like body cams in America on YouTube, and I always watch like how everywhere you're not like really safe, even a shopping mall or like outside on one like normal street or something. They're like shooting or like knife stabbing, and yeah, it's about safety in America. I don't know, like what I saw. I would everywhere where I would go in the USA, I would like make sure I'm safe, in safe area and in a safe area, and like always watching behind me, and yeah.
it could be bears, it could be, just for safety's sake. Just make sure you are paying attention to your surroundings. And if you're looking at hotels, you find hotels that are super, super cheap compared to the other places that you're finding, there might be a reason for that. So do make sure you're paying attention. Now, since I'm here in Jackson, I probably have to mention something about the national parks because Grand Teton National Park is
yeah.
right up there, and Yellowstone
So
National
beautiful.
Park is just a little bit farther north of here. And mistake I see tourists
I
make,
love
if you're going to
mountains.
be going exploring a lot of the National Park Service sites around the U.S., make sure you pick up the America the Beautiful pass. Basically, it's a year-long pass that lets you in to all these National Park Service, sites and parks and national monuments and stuff like that. And if you go to 2 or 3, it really pays for itself, and it makes life so much easier when you have it. So don't make the mistake of not getting that, especially if you're going to be out here in the northwest of the U.S., which has a lot of really beautiful national parks that you can go and enjoy. But honestly, it can help out anywhere you go. Now, another mistake I see tourists make when they come here, and there's some restaurants behind me here which made me think of this, is don't make the mistake of not asking for a doggy bag. Look, a doggy bag is when you have the extra food after you eat, you can take it home. Because I'll be honest, a lot of
yeah.
places in the U.S., the portions they give you are enough for 2 people. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why
I do it like everywhere where I go. When if I like this food and if I cannot like finish and want to eat later, I ask always to like to pack my food, and yeah.
2 people because they eat 1 American serving, which is the biggest 2 normal person servings. So don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy to ask for a doggy bag or a to-go bag or a to-go box, and take it back to your hotel, microwave it, heat it up, eat it later, take it back to your Airbnb, because you will get a lot of food. So I've seen a lot of tourists going, well, we don't ask for doggy bags where I'm from. I'm like, well, you're in the U.S. now. It's totally okay. And some of those places might actually throw in you some more bread rolls or something like that as well. So why not get 2 meals paid for? Well, just pay for 1 meal, but actually get 2 out of it. Okay. Now, another mistake I see tourists make, it's when it comes to driving. And I know in my don'ts videos and shocks video, I talk about the distances, so I'm not going to talk about that. What I am going to talk about are the little driving nuances in the U.S. that sometimes travelers don't notice or don't know. One thing you'll see is in some places, not everywhere, like in New York you can't do this, or New York City you can't do this, but turning right on a red.
Oh,
In a
yeah.
lot of places in the U.S. you actually can turn right on red. If there's no traffic coming and if it's safe, you can go. It's almost like a yield.
In Germany, we have like if it's red, you have an extra like light on the right, and if this goes green, you can then drive. But like fully traffic light red, you cannot drive.
You're taking a right turn. Now, it's not everywhere, so you do need to have a heads up for that. And some place will have a special sign saying no right turn on red.
Okay.
But that is some things that sometimes you might be sitting there waiting to turn red and people might honk at you and you're like, what? The light's red. That could be one of the reasons why.
Okay,
Also,
good to know.
Another thing, left lane driving. Look, if you're on the highways, if you're slower, you stay to the right, you pass in the left lane. I know this is how it is in a lot of countries, but it seems like when people
Don't tell me this in Germany. Do not tell me this.
travel, they forget that. Now, another mistake I have for you here in Jackson is don't make the mistake of believing all the stereotypes you hear about the U.S., okay? I know you think everyone in the U.S. eats a pound of bacon for breakfast and then goes shoots their gun in the afternoon. Look, that's not the case. I mean, it's not everybody from California is a surfer dude, and everybody that's from the Southeast is a redneck, and everybody from New England is so prim and proper, and the Midwesterners are all shucksy. Yes, there's a lot of stereotypes out there about the U.S. And one of the things I always tell people, go travel and meet the people on your own, because it doesn't matter if you're in the Pacific Northwest or the Southeast, the Northeast, the Midwest, or wherever in the U.S. Americans are actually super friendly people. And they're going to want to help you. They're going to want you to go see these things. They're going to want you to know more about their country and see more of their region. And they're going to give you the helpful tips about, hey, this is where you want to go eat. This is not the place to go eat. Because they're the ones, they're going to hook you up with a really good local food. So make a friend with some of those locals when you do drive around. And don't believe the stereotypes, except for the friendliness, because there really are a lot of friendly Americans. So that's what I have from Jackson. Let's go see another beautiful part of the U.S.
Big mistakes that I see people make when they come to the United States is that they just come here and they go to the big cities, New York, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, great
Yeah,
cities.
like I said, I would like to visit Los Angeles, Miami, New York, of course Arizona, Grand Canyon, and yeah.
Whole lot to offer you. But nearby those big cities are smaller towns, and if you're not checking those out, you're missing out on some really great
Yes.
programming,
True.
small town festivals, and really good Americana. For instance, not too far outside Atlanta is the Elder Mill Covered Bridge. It's in this lovely area, and we're only an hour and a half away. We went to a really great farmers market yesterday that had all sorts of arts and things. So just by leaving those big cities for just a day to see something interesting, you'll find a whole new side of America. Related to that is the mistake of not getting off the interstate. You come here, you have to drive in America to really see it all.
Yes.
To get a real good flavor of what there is. But when you do that, you tend to get on the interstate and you go from point A to point B. Get off the interstate. Get off the interstate, get on a back road, get on a highway that's like kind of like a Route 66 kind of thing when you're going from Chicago to LA, and you get to see these small towns and get a whole new flavor of the United States. You'll discover a lot of hidden beauties as you
Okay.
come around this great country of ours on the back roads. And as you're going from one state to the other, there are often visitor centers, especially if you're on the interstate, but sometimes on the back roads there'll be a small kiosk and stuff with all sorts of information about nearby.
But my question would be, how much costs like from New York to travel, to fly with a plane like, I don't know, to Miami or to Los Angeles? Like, is it expensive or cheap? Yeah.
that or festivals or just great places to eat and sleep, there are all sorts of things that you can stop on the road and see something new. So you'll find a lot of different stuff to do in a lot of different states. And I hope that when you come here to the US, you'll get out and explore some of the small things on the small state highways and things, and not just the big stuff.
Perfect. Really nice video. I'm not shocked. I expected this, and it's just normal. Just with the tip, like if you have to tip a person that it's like rude to you or gives you like the negative vibe and like not really smiling or something, like not good service, I would say. Yeah, but everything else is perfect for me. Like I'm ready. Thanks for watching. If you stayed with me till the end, please like this video. It's free. Subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you like. That's it. Have a nice day, and till next video.